It's crazy to think that there was a time in my life where I was able to chase after fitness goals without worry. I went from being a skinny kid to an elite powerlifter to then developing some proficiency in calisthenics. I was strong and I could always train to become stronger. Body soreness was the main concern that I had, and it was manageable. It seems like a dream to me where I used to be someone who was comfortable with heavy weight on my back, or that I could pick heavy objects off the ground without a second thought. Back in July of 2021, I overloaded a back straining movement called the Jefferson curl and ended up bulging the 4 discs between the L2 and S1 regions. I've made a good number of content going over this injury and how I've been managing it, and I've had a lot of people reach out over the years asking me how I've been doing. And unfortunately, after more than 2.5 years since the initial injury, all I have to say is, it's still here, and it's getting to me. You see, the reason why I became so passionate about fitness was because it was very straightforward. You train your body to get better at whatever you want it to. Want to get stronger? Lift some weights, add some more as you get stronger, and continue indefinitely. Want to be better at a certain sport? Develop some baseline skills, and then hone your body's ability to act and react. Want to get better at moving around? Get up every now and then, go for a walk or run, then increase the pace or length as your conditioning gets better. But what was more important to me than the straightforwardness was that I had full control over my ability to progress. I got what I put in, and I couldn't hold anyone else responsible for any successes or failures. If I wasn't getting any stronger, it was because of me. Maybe I skipped a few days. Maybe I wasn't focused. I misgrooved. My form was off. I couldn't blame anyone else for what I could or couldn't do. My progress was my own, and at any day I could simply do nothing or put some work in without any type of interpersonal issue. And I took full advantage of this. I trained specifically with strength in mind, and I was gradually getting stronger and stronger. I knew this because my numbers were always going up. My muscles were getting bigger. The progress was measurable, and I was operating at the peak of my strength. I trained my body to push through pain and be resilient. I learned how to brace my joints so I could go hard on super heavy movements and minimize the risk of injury. The most pain I had to deal with was a few sprains here and there and some soreness in my shoulder, elbow, and knee joints, but other than that, everything was manageable with some stretching and muscle rub. So when I initially injured myself, all I could think about was the excruciating pain. My back immediately tightened up, and I had to struggle to carry and walk myself out of the gym. I thought it would just be a severe back strain and that after a few weeks I would be over it. But it wasn't like that. The pain persisted. It hurt to stand. It hurt to walk. It hurt to pick up basic objects like water bottles. It hurt to do anything but lie down. At that point, it was clearly not a back sprain anymore, and after looking into things a little bit, I found out that it could possibly be a disc injury. Does anybody remember Mike Chang from Six Pack Shortcuts? I came across an interview he did with Asian Boss, and I was quite curious as to why he left that behind. As I listened to him talk about one of those reasons, I realized that he suffered the same type of injury that I did.
I had an injury in my back, and I couldn't heal it. And I can heal anything in my body because I've been injured too many times to count in all places, because I've been doing a lot of heavy lifting and doing a lot of physical, silly stuff, and I'd always injure myself. So to recover from injuries is like normal, it's no big deal. But somehow I couldn't recover this, and I didn't know why. And I tried to, because it was from this silly thing. Like I was trying to pick up this large tree trunk and carry it home, into my car, which is 50 yards away. I would do like silly things like that. Instead of like finding a smart way to do it, I just bear hug it, deadlift it up, and just start walking with it, Sure. So I blew out my back. That would have been a month and a half. It would have been fixed. Well, that injury didn't heal, and it got worse and worse. I mean, I couldn't stand, I couldn't sit without pain. I couldn't lay down without pain. It was just constant jabbing, like a sharp pain. And I couldn't film workout videos really well because I couldn't hold a 20-pound dumbbell. My core wasn't strong enough. I'd be in pain.
Like, just hearing what he had to say about his injury shows just how crazy it is. How someone so strong hurt themselves doing something so trivial that he's actually embarrassed to admit what the actual injury was, and it cost him the ability to perform for his business. It completely derailed his life. I felt like my injury derailed mine. So going back to me, over time, I regained the ability to do some movements, but the tightness remained. Months passed. I was actively trying to push myself, but the injury remained, and hard-capped my capabilities. It took me a whole year to finally decide to get some imaging done and confirm just exactly what my injury was. And I was hoping that even if it was a disc injury, it would only be one. Surgery wouldn't be out of the question, and I could probably recover from that in a short amount of time. But no, the MRI showed that I herniated 4 of them at once. That was absolutely crazy. It also meant that there was no safe and viable treatment other than to just let it run its course. But that was the thing. I had been letting it run its course. A quick Google search will tell you that this type of injury takes weeks, if not a few months, to resolve. But for me, it took a few weeks to relieve enough pain just to do basic movements again, and then a few months to regain full mobility. But the injury has stagnated since then, and I've done the best that I can despite it all. I was still able to develop some high-level calisthenics and maintain my physique. I can run and jump just fine now, and that got me back into playing pickup basketball. Hell, I was able to get the leanest I've ever been with this injury, and I was still motivated to push myself to be as physically capable as I could be. But every day that I went to work out, I was always looking at things that I used to do in the past and thinking, I can't do that right now. I could not even think about touching the bench press, the squat rack, or heavy dumbbells. I couldn't think about adding weight to my pull-ups or dips like I did in the past. I was stuck doing the same things over and over. Days turned into weeks, weeks turned into months, and months turned into years. Compared to most other people, I'm still very strong and capable. If I never got into strength training, I would survive just fine. But compared to myself from the past, I'm nothing. I was doing pull-ups and dips with plates on, but now I could only do about 10 without them. I can't bench, I can't squat, I can't deadlift, and I can't pick up objects over 20 pounds without feeling my back straining a little bit. I can't slouch when I sit, or my back will tighten up quickly. My muscles are still strong, and I can push myself to do things like carry my girlfriend, give her a shoulder ride, or handstand stuff, but at the cost of excruciating back pain immediately after. Pushing myself to live like this the first year was quite manageable because I didn't think it would last much longer. Year 2, I reached new limits and peaked out on what I was capable of. But now, months away from approaching year 3, and it's finally getting to me. I'm feeling desolate about my situation. I've lost so much time that could have been spent pushing my potential. I probably could have been a calisthenics god like Chris Harrier by now. And what's really caused that feeling to set in is the compounding effect of other consequences. My capabilities have already been limited for years now, but then I sprain an ankle or a finger, and now I lose more of what I can do. I already have to settle for doing just bodyweight pull-ups, but then I lose that for a while. I can barely work on my legs anymore, but then I tweak my ankle and have to stay home for a bit. And my body has definitely aged as well. It takes longer to recover from minor injuries. I'm more susceptible to minor aches and pains in my joints. Doing physical therapy and stretches only help to alleviate the pain, not heal the body. Every moment that I'm up, my back just gets tighter and tighter, and then I have to go stretch it out and alleviate some pain. And this cycle just keeps repeating over and over. And the nail in the coffin is that there's no point in me maintaining any progress that I've made. My calisthenics skills can't get any better, so I stopped working on them altogether. I haven't worked on my planches or levers in months, and I don't see any point in getting them back. I used to look forward to my gym days, thinking about downing some pre-workout, gearing up, and then hitting some heavy lifts. But that's a thing of the past now. I walk by all of this equipment that I used to use all the time. It collects dust because it's useless to me right now. What I bring with me, what I can do, and what I can achieve are extremely limited. So I have no motivation to push myself hard anymore. And losing my motivation and passion for fitness has caused my overall productivity to suffer. And yet, even though I've skipped a lot of workouts in recent years, I still find myself going to the gym quite often. Because for some reason, I just can't fathom sitting around and doing nothing. Because my body gets tight quite quickly from an activity, it becomes even more vital for me to get up and move around. I have to battle atrophy and physical discomfort on the daily. But even more important than that, I don't want to waste everything that I've built up. So I simply operate at my limitations. I can't lift weights? So be it. I can only do 7 pull-ups in a set? Then I'll do those 7 pull-ups. Back and joints feel tight? I'll stretch them out. I never wanted this injury to happen. After dealing with it for so long, I always wondered if it was better if I just suffered some type of traumatic injury one time and gone through the recovery process for that. But that's how life is. Things happen and we have to deal with the consequences. And so, as I continue to deal with this injury, I've become a lot more mindful on just how much effort I need to do to relieve tension off my body. I take much more initiative to address minor aches and pains as they come up and choose not to involve myself in anything that might physically hurt me more. Overall, I've learned how to take care of my body a lot more and how to train smarter and more efficiently. And that's what I wish I learned before I got hurt. I tried to overcompensate for some minor pain, but I ended up completely messing up my body instead. I wish I didn't have to go for a major injury to learn that lesson, but here it is. We all have one life to live and one body in life, so we should try to take care of it as much as we can. The human body is capable of tremendous strength and feats, but it's also fragile and decays over time. And while we can sustain some minor damage and heal quickly, some damage can be too much, and it can alter how one lives forever. It's easy to take having a healthy body for granted without realizing that you can lose it over a single moment. So yeah, let this be a reminder that we should all strive to be in good health and try to maintain it. I don't know when I'll ever feel like myself again physically, but until that point, I'm just doing what I can. And if and when it does happen, I'll be much smarter this time, and I'll be back on the grind to see just how strong I can become. And that's the end of this video. If you're still here, I appreciate you, and you should leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Leave a comment, join the Discord, or you can reach out to me for coaching or advice. Thanks for being here. I gotta go stretch my back out. Stay based, y'all. Bye-bye.